Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaim here. Today we're going to be talking about the new Genie, Enamorus, from a competitive point of view. Obviously, we know that Pokemon Legends Arceus does not have any competitive Pokemon. However, we are looking forward towards Gen 9 or whatever game these new Pokemon will be allowed in. So, take everything I say. Don't take it literally because I know they can't do agile style, strong style in real games, and I can only use that. There's no competitive battles. I know that. However, if you do enjoy these videos, make sure you leave a like. Also, let me know your thoughts on Enamorus, both the incarnate form and the Ethereum form, down below. I've covered basically every new mon except for the Dialga and Palkia forms, which I'll be probably covering in tomorrow's video. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. I'm on my way to 300k. That is my end of the year goal. If you like competitive Pokemon content, which I upload a lot of on my channel every single day, feel free to sub. So Enamorus is fairy and flying. Excellent, excellent, excellent typing. I love both fairy and flying type offensively. I think that while flying does have some pretty key resistances in certain Pokemon, obviously steel, rock, they're electric, right? But it doesn't matter. It's just really, really good. And fairy is great both offensively and defensively, right? Very few resists, and it gives it an immunity to Dragon, which is amazing when Dragapult is one of the best Pokemon in the metagame. So Enamorus, pretty cool just based on the typing alone. Now, let's look at its abilities. So the incarnate form has Healer and Hidden Ability Contrary. Okay, insane already. And then the Ethereum form, which is the turtle lion form, or whatever, the turtle snake, lion snake thingy form, turtle snake, is Overcoat. Not as great, obviously, and the stats do change, but let's talk a little bit about this Pokemon. Let's talk a little bit about Contrary. Now, Contrary is pretty insane on a fairy type, right? I'm gonna Dora the Explorer you for a minute. What move would this Pokemon be absolutely busted with? You got 2 seconds. Yes, Flare Cannon. That's right. So, Flare Cannon obviously would be insane on Enamorus. Now, I think that is just wishful thinking. I don't think we'll see this Pokemon with Flare Cannon, but obviously, from a base 135 special attack Pokemon with base 106 speed, which is great, right? Faster than base 100s, still slower than Latios, still slower than Kartana, which is actually pretty important considering it has 74 HP and 70 defense, because Smart Strike from Kartana knocks it out, and Latios can 2-hit KO it. So it's still slow enough, but it's fast enough to be faster than relevant Pokemon like Garchomp, like Urshifu, like Tapu Lele, like Hydreigon. So it's faster than relevant Pokemon because of its flying typing. It also resists Grassy Glide, even though it's still going to take a lot from Rillaboom. And it's still slow enough to the point where it's not going to be busted, even if it does have Flare Cannon, which it's not. I mean, I love making Pokemon broken, but if it does have it, it still will be managed to be checked. And yeah, overall, I really like its stats though. 115 attack, 135 special attack, 106 speed. And then we'll look at the Ethereum form, which has 74 HP, same as that thing, but 115 attack, 110 defense, 135 special attack, 100 special defense, and then 46 speed. So it sacrificed basically the speed for extra bulk. We'll talk about this one a little bit after because I think this one is the more exciting one, though this one seems pretty cool for VGC. I like its resistances. I like Overcoat as well for like Rage Powder and stuff like that. So that's what that does, right? It blocks Rage Powder, if I'm not mistaken, and a few other obviously powder moves we have right here, like Sandstorm, Hail, and just powder moves in general. So Spore and stuff. So pretty cool. So the awesome thing about this Pokemon is 135 special attack and 115 attack. Now, again, if it has specs, if it has Flare Cannon, then Choice Specs and Choice Scarf sets are broken. Period. Right? We've seen Scarf Leaf Storm Superior beat its counters just after a few boosts. But the difference between that Contrary Pokemon and this Contrary Pokemon is that Superior has base 75 special attack, which is 249, right, at neutral max, and this mon has 369. So that is a huge difference. Now, when you are a fairy and a flying type, the thing you want most is coverage, right? What is one of the main things that resist this? You got steel right there. Enamorus comes with beautiful coverage. Absolutely beautiful coverage. This Pokemon has, obviously Moonblast and Springtide Storm. We'll talk about this in a bit, but Moonblast is one of the best moves in the game. This is the weaker version of it. It'll definitely be stronger like before, but, lowers the special attack, 100% accurate, good PP, really strong. No drawback move, right? One of the best moves in the game. And then these are the big things that we're looking at. Mystical Fire. So this Pokemon has a chance to be like a Specs Tapu Lele, because Tapu Lele has just slightly less special attack, but its psychics are going to hit harder, obviously, because of the psychic terrain. However, these things, Moonblasts, are going to hit way harder. So as Mystical Fire, right? Scizors, Ferrothorns, Corviknights, Skarmories, cooked. But wait, oh no, Heatran's a threat. Enter 4 times effective Earth Power. Like, they gave this thing an option to not only hit Heatran, but also hit Toxapex for 2 times effective damage, Heatran 4 times effective damage, and on a spec set, it'll 2 KO Toxapex, and obviously a Oko Heatran as well with that much. And then on top of that, they even gave it the physical fairy move for its attack stat, which is player up. So incredible, right? Absolutely incredible. And you know how one of the other genies, Landorus, has Calm Mind, and then the other 2 have Nasty Plot? Well, they gave this one Calm Mind to even it out, right? Because, I mean, Tornadus doesn't get Calm Mind. They all get, like, Bulk Up, but this one doesn't get Calm Mind. And obviously, neither does Thundurus, as they use Nasty Plot sets. So, yeah, just to make sure you guys all know. Now, incredible, right? Already a fantastic special move pool. I can see it doing Moonblast, Mystical Fire, and Earth Power on choice spec sets if it really, really wants to, if it even wants to run choice specs. And then U-turn is something all the genies get, so I'm assuming you'd have like U-turn. So this is very, very easy on a choice spec set. But then it also has its signature move, Springtide Storm. Now, Springtide Storm, and of course you can do Calm Mind sets too, right? Like, this could easily run Calm Mind. But you have to be really careful about this because of Contrary, right? So if you're running Calm Mind, you have to run Healer because you don't want to get the special attack and special defense lowered, right? So that's something you have to worry about. But this seems really good on a good speed tier. I like that a lot. And of course, it also has Bulk Up too to take advantage of the... where is it? Did I not see Bulk Up? I swear I saw Bulk Up. Maybe I'm blind. Maybe I didn't see Bulk Up. Okay, I'm assuming you're going to get Bulk Up though because the others get it. But that's... You're definitely going to get Bulk Up. The others get it. But it has a few other options as well, being Iron Defense plus Draining Kiss, which is something I want to talk about in a sec too. But we're going to talk about Springtide Storm. There's a lot I want to talk about when it comes to this mod. Springtide Storm is 95 power, 80 accuracy. I'm pretty positive it's going to go higher in terms of power, but maybe it stays 95. The user attacks by wrapping the target in fierce winds, brimming with love and hate. Sounds like relationships. This moves additional effects depending on the user's form. So in the incarnate form, this has a 30% chance in standard style, right? So as usual, a 30% chance to Omni Boost for 3 turns, right? Now that's in the game. It can Omni Boost for 3 turns. Omni Boosting means all of its stats get risen for 3 turns. And in strong style, which is obviously only relevant to Pokemon Legends Arceus, it has a 50% chance to raise all the user's stats for 5 turns. Now, I don't think the what's it called, the 50 versus 30 is going to matter as much. I'm pretty sure it'll be on the lower end if this does come to the real game. But if this does come to the real game, we have a Genie with Omni Boosting. Now, I think, again, on that set, you probably have to run Healer, unless it's sort of similar to Malamar with Z moves, because if you guys didn't know, when Malamar uses Z Happy Hour, even with Contrary, it still boosts all of its stats. I'm not 100% sure why, but it does, even though it has Contrary, so it can run that. So maybe Enamorus can do that too, but that is an absolutely insane move, right? And of course, on the Therian version of it, it has a 30% chance in regular style to lower the target's defense. Defense is for 3 turns, so you'd be lowering their stats, and 50% in strong style. So not as great, but I mean really cool for just, you know, annoying walls. You can break through them, especially if they're like unaware Pokemon like Quagsire or Clefable might be able to wall this Pokemon in some way, shape, or form. Or if like a mon, like, let's say, it's actually pretty cool because let's say I go for Springtide Storm with this Pokemon in particular. Let's say I go for it with this Pokemon in particular. I still have 135 special attack, right? Toxapex comes in, lowers its defenses, it dies to Earth Power right after. So it eases prediction and that sort of thing. And I want to focus on this one in a bit too. But yeah, so an insane move. And on top of that, let's look at a little bit at Contrary. So the Contrary, if you guys don't know, I mean, I've already hinted at it or talked about it, but it basically gives you the stat boost instead of stat. It's the opposite, right? Everything's opposite. So if you went for Draco Meteor, normally it drops your special attack. If you use Contrary, it raises your special attack. If you go for Calm Mind, normally it boosts your stats. If you go for it with Contrary, it lowers your stats. You now understand Contrary. So this is pretty nasty because there are 2 moves that all of the Genies have in common, besides Bulk Up. But 2 moves that are relevant to this that all the Genies have in common. And that is Superpower, right? Now, this is a realistic move with, I think this is a really realistic move with Contrary, because this is something this Pokemon should have just be the others. So, Superpower, which would be great with Contrary, right? Because physical sets would be better. You could not only allow you to break through, you know, Blissey and Chansey, but you're also raising your attack and your defense at the same time, making it even harder for something like Kartana to revenge kill you. So there's that. And the other one, which I think is pretty interesting, is another fighting type attack, and that is Hammer Arm. Now, again, all the genies get this move. Let's look at them real quick just to make sure I'm not lying to you. You got Tornadus right here, Hammer Arm right there, Superpower right there. All right, let's look at Landorus. I mean, you're gonna see the exact same thing, but Hammer Arm right there, Superpower. If I can spell, Superpower right there, and of course, I mean, you should know where this is going. I'm not lying to you. Superpower right there, Hammer Arm right there. Now, based on that, I'm pretty sure this Pokemon's gonna get that too. Superpower obviously being great because you get the contrary attack raise and defense raise, but Hammer Arm even makes it one step further, and instead of a speed drop, you get a speed raise, meaning you are now faster than every Pokemon that could beat you before. Spexladios can't 2-hit KO you because you'll be faster to knock them out. Kartana, if it's regular, it can't knock you out because you'll be faster and knock it out, right? Dragapult can't 2-hit KO you with Specs Shadow Ball because you're faster and you knock it out. So it's just making you faster. Obviously, like if Tapu Koko comes out and you go for Hammer Arm, you can knock him out with Moonblast after. I'm pretty sure Specs Moonblast drops Koko, so I don't even know why Koko will come hardened. But it just makes it harder for this Pokemon to revenge kill because you get the speed boost. So I can easily see this thing running Hammer Arm plus Moonblast or the Springtide. Assuming it, I have no idea how it's going to transfer to the new game. There's no way it has the exact same effect because it would have to, there's no strong style versus standard. It would be standard, right? So I'm assuming maybe 30%. And who knows if they even ban that move or whatever. Or maybe they ban the Pokemon because they're like, oh man, that's a complex ban. I don't want to ban the move. Even though 2 Pokemon learn it. But whatever. So I can definitely see a set being, some sort of mix set being just Mystical Fire, Hammer Arm, Moonblast, and Earth Power, right? This basically hits everything for neutral or super effective damage. For the most part, this hits everything. Might be some type of combination in some Pokemon. I'm not remembering that this does not hit. Hammer Arm also allowing you to break through Blissey and 2-hit KO Blissey, I think is pretty cool. So I really like this a lot. That's not to say this Pokemon will be just straight up broken. Like, I mean, there's Melmetal, Scizors, like there's things that can resist it. Oh, it's well, this hits you for neutral, but I mean, it basically hits everything for neutral or super effective damage. So you can Mystical Fire, Vocal Run. Vocal Run is actually a pretty nice check for this Pokemon. I don't see really any solid. What's it called? Like air type moves. Sorry, I'm trying. The word was flying. I was looking for flying. But obviously, also physical superpower plus play rough sets can become a thing, and you can just run mixed with Moonblast as well if you want to, or mix with Mystical Fire, so you can deal with Ferrothorn and stuff like that. I'm sure sub superpower play rough sets can be a thing too. The other thing I wanted to bring your attention to was Power Shift. Now, Power Shift is pretty cool as well because it swaps the user's defenses and attack stats. So basically, instead of having 115 attack, 70 defense, 135 special attack, 80 defense, it would have 115 defense and 135 special defense, and it would be weaker, obviously, on the, you know, the special attack and attack side. However, it doesn't change the speed, so it still have 106 speed to be faster than Pokemon, and then you can swap the stats, assuming this move Power Shift comes into the new games as well, because that is a brand new move. And that could easily run things like, and you would have to run obviously the healer on that, but it would be Iron Defense, Draining Kiss, which it does have, Draining Kiss, and this is kind of similar because Defensive Tapu Lele runs something like this, but it'd be like Iron Defense, Draining Kiss, Calm Mind, Mystical Fire, or Earth Power type sets could easily become a thing because you not only still, well, I mean, no, you can't run this exact one because obviously you have the you have to use Power Shift, but like some combination of these moves, and obviously Earth Power could be some combination of this move with one of these being Power Shift. Let's just put Power Gem because I don't have that move yet, apparently. So even that could be a really scary combination, right? Because Lele already does this, and it has to run max defense, max HP if it wants to do this. And people do sub-combine Lele with that plus stored power, right? And Lele can get away with running stored power because it's a psychic type and has a psychic terrain. But this Pokemon being able to do this without giving up speed, I think is the important part, right? Without giving up the speed. So I think that's really cool. You could like you could really easily EV that thing with like max HP, max HP 4 defense or whatever, or 4 special defense, and then it'd be hard to kill, right? Because that 115 defense, that 135 special defense. So that's a really, really cool set that I think that this Pokemon could run as well. So I think this Mon has a lot of options, both, and obviously, you know, the king would be Fleur Cannon, but I think that would just get this Pokemon banned. But those are some cool sets that could run with both Healer and Contrary. That would make it good. Now, regular Enamorus Therian form, not as crazy, right? Not as crazy. Definitely looks more VGC-esque, right? It's everything you want in a Trick Room Pokemon. It's defensive. It has a good ability, which is anti-double strats. Also really anti-Breloom, right? Like, you resist Bullet Seed, you resist Mach Punch, you're immune to Spore. And then it has the slow speeds here for Trick Room. So it basically has everything there. I could easily see this thing also doing kind of similar, again, on Trick Room teams and even on lower tiers as well. And the big thing is that with very little investment, you know, that's very little, right? You're faster than Clefable. You're faster than Clefable. And this Mon, because unlike Enamorus, which I think will always want to run like plus speed natures unless they're running like some sort of jank set, this Mon can get away with the beneficial natures for attack and special attack, right? Modest, adamant, whatever you want to do, depending on that. So with just a little bit of that, it can actually hit harder than this one, which I think is pretty cool. Obviously, being bulkier means that you're going to be able to take on things like Dragapult and Hydreigon a lot better than the other one would, because even like resisted hits are going to be doing a lot because the other one doesn't have the greatest stats. The Springtide Storm, again, like I said, on the Therian form, has a 30% chance of lowering the target's defenses for 3 turns, or a 50% chance in Strong Style. Now, I have no idea how that move is going to be. It basically has the accuracy of Hydro Pump. But they go for, let's call it Spirit Break for now. It's not Spirit Break. They go for that, and like I said, Toxapex comes in. Its defense is now lowered. I easily kill it with my keyboard, misclicking the 10,000 bolts. But no, I easily knock it out with Earth Power after, right? Because that's 405 special. I mean, I can show you. Why not? We have the damage calc, right? So, Togekiss already has stab on these, so we'll just go Togekiss. Let's make it modest, and let's give it 135. Togekiss got Moonblast, by the way, pretty cool. In this game, anyway. So let's go for... This is 95 base power, right? So let's go for Moonblast. Moonblast 95. Toxapex comes in. Toxapex takes 21 to... let's put Earth Power in this set, too. So, it's pretty easy to do the math here, right? You basically round down 20, or you can do 25 plus 50, or you can do 20 plus 50, which is like 70, right? So you're doing roughly between 70 to 80%, roughly. 70 to 78%, roughly, right? 70 to 80% is more accurate. But, I mean, you get the -1 special defense drop on Toxapex, you kill. You guarantee kill after, right? Minimum on the last one was 21%. You're doing 80% with this one. So that's just something that I think is pretty cool, and it can be a very devastating wall breaker, and doesn't even lead, as you can see, I'm not even using a boosting item, right? I'm using heavy duty boots. Heavy duty boots is obviously an option. Leftovers can be an option too. So I think this one actually has the potential to be a little bit scarier versus those walls, whereas, I mean, this one being faster, but it can't take hits. This one has a lot of potential to be scarier versus those walls as well. Let's go to, what's another wall? Corviknight. Now, obviously, this is physically defensive, but let's just make it just go physically defensive there. And let's make ourselves a little faster than Corviknight too. Though a lot of Corviknight run min speed, but I mean, as you can see, we can make ourselves faster than Corviknight pretty easily. But I think one of the biggest things is obviously the speed tier is pretty low. But let's go faster than Skarmory speed or something like that. So we have that. This thing only has Mystical Fire. We go for our Moonblast. Moonblast, 25 to 29%. Right, and let's go for Mystical Fire here because it's a relatively weak move. Not the strongest, but it still does 53. This is doing the exact same calc as Toxapex, basically. It's literally doing the exact same calc as Toxapex. So what does that mean? It dies at -1. So that's just to show you. And again, Corviknight can run leftovers, but Rocky Helmet is more is usually there unless they're special defensive. And sometimes special defensive runs Shed Shell for Magnezone. So there's a lot of potential in this one because of that chance to lower your defense. So I know this one seems a lot more exciting because of Contrary and Fast and stuff, but do not sleep on this one, especially if Springtide Storm does actually end up getting the drops. And of course, like, who knows if the Mon ends up getting some sort of recovery. Doubtful, really doubtful. The others only have rest. Very, very doubtful on that. But this Pokemon, I think, on both sides looks pretty insane. Not to mention, it can beat Blissey easier than the other one because it's going to lower your defenses, right? So I'm assuming it's both your, your regular defense and that. So let's just go, let's give it, what is that, 115? Let's go 115. That's 239, right? And let's give it superpower, because that'd be probably the preferred move to knock out Blissey. You could go Hammer on if you want to miss. But let's go Blissey. So Blissey comes out, superpower only doing 44 to 52%. Moonblast doing 18 to 22%. Again, this is without a boosting item, right? This is without a boosting item. So we're doing 20% here. We're doing 40% here. So 60, 66% on the lower to high end. And on average, we're doing around 60 to 65, 60 to 70%, right? Depending. On average, we're doing between 60 and 70% to Blissey. And again, lower that defense by 1. It's still doing enough to the point where if Blissey got knocked off, you can knock it out. It's still relatively on the lower side, obviously, right? But it's not terrible. Because in some roles, you need the absolute max, but you can knock it out, right? And that's me running Modest Nature. Of course, I can very easily run. Let's go. What's your stats again? You have less special defense. I wouldn't go less special defense nature. But let's just go minus speed nature just for the sake of going minus speed, right? So now you're doing 74 to 87%, and that is way better, right? That is way better. On the min, you're doing 92%, right? And then on absolute min with superpower, or on an average roll with superpower, and just standard with Moonblast, you can knock out Blissey. So I just want to say this is a Mon that is definitely not to be slept on. The hell, I just got a DM from Mewtwo King. Okay, this is a Mon not be slept on at all, in my opinion, especially because of what it can do in that regard. So guys, let me know your thoughts. I would love to know them down below. There's a lot I want to talk about when it comes to these Pokemon, but I need to know more fuller movesets. But I think the Hammer Arm plus Superpower definitely the biggest potential, and the other things like while this one looks the coolest or the best in potential, this one looks insane, especially if Springtide Storm is the exact same way, or at least some way similar doing that. But yeah, once again, let me know your thoughts down below. I hope you guys all enjoy it. If you did, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.